G'day, Steel Nation. How you going? It's Mark here, Mark Davidson from Steel Nation Australia. What's going on, West Country? What's that? Let's go! Baby! Yes! Yes! Let's go!
What's the deal with the schedule?
I think the stereotype that we drink Fosters, and the first Foster I saw was in Pittsburgh. It's a true story.
Yeah,
The first ever Foster I saw was in America. I've never seen one.
I thought that was like Australia for beers.
For what? Alrighty, Steel Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. And I got my good mate here, Brendon. What's going on, Brendon? How are you, mate?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's roster cut down day. I released a video yesterday that we had 8 players being released, and we'll go over them shortly. However, there's now like 16. So we're getting to, I guess, the crazy part of the season for the players. But like, I guess as a fan, the fun part for us, right? You know what I mean? Are you getting excited, pumped up?
I mean, I'm trying, but I'm trying to keep a low profile. I don't want to get over too hype like last year, but we'll see. I'm excited, but we'll see.
Yeah, last year was definitely, I think, we saw a lot in the preseason with Kenny Pickett, and the offense was awesome, scoring TDs, scoring 20 points a game, touchdowns here and there, and then we got to the San Fran game, and it all went downhill. It went downhill fast. What were your quick thoughts on like the Lions game? Like I saw the first drive. I'm really impressed with Russell Wilson, the catch from Pickens. I liked Herbig, and then I kind of, when I watched the replay, I kind of was falling asleep after a while. Like, what were your thoughts on the preseason game with the Lions game?
Well, first of all, we actually scored a touchdown with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, so that was good. That's what we like to see. I just thought with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in the game, I thought the offense was moving very well. Cordell Patterson got that 31-yard rushing touchdown, and then who was it? Michael Pirine got the other rushing touchdown. So I think for the offense, I think we're seeing like a slow, like a slow process. Like we're getting there, we're figuring it out, but we're still gonna struggle just a bit. But on the defensive side, I think defense is ready. Like, I'm knock on wood, I hope no injuries. No more injuries. But I thought Nick Herbert did play well. I thought DeMarvin Leal did play well. I thought everyone on the defensive side played well until probably like the second half, into like the second quarter of the game. But overall, I think defense starters and backups should be ready to play. Hopefully no injuries there. And the offense, they should be ready, but it's going to take some time. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I think as well, though, with the offense, that's kind of expected, to be honest. And I think we just want everything now in the now generation of the red notification, tick of approval, like we want it now, right? But the offense should take some time because it is a new offensive coordinator that we hired last year. And also when they fired Matt Canada, you had the other 2 blokes running it, from their perspective. And it's a new offensive coordinator, a lot of new players. Sure, we have the Najee, the Warren. Hopefully he's all right in his injury. I'm okay with it, like taking this time, because like you said, I know our defense will be holding them to 20 points a game or 21 points a game. And yeah, by the way, thank you, Jed Devils, who said to postpone my 6:30 routing for this, mate. Couldn't miss a HDU class. That's right. So thank you, mate, for putting that aside for us. That's fantastic. We won't be too long. We'll be about 45, 50 minutes talking football. We're going to talk about some cuts as well. But yeah, man, it takes its it takes its course. It's part of the journey. This is going to be one of the hardest seasons for the Steelers franchise with the schedule. You've got the 4 games in a row. That's AFC North. I saw the other day too that Nick Chubb is injured for the Browns for like 4 or 5 games. So that should impact probably the AFC North. The Ravens play the Chiefs. Bengals, I think, play the Chiefs early. Or I think so they play them early. I think so. I could be wrong. But it's going to be hard for us. And I think that the Steelers, I'm kind of happy that they lost all the games. You know what I mean? In a certain way, like they didn't go all 3-0 and then we're really hyped again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of happy. It's like we could have won one game, would have been nice. But the Bills game was kind of terrible. Overall was pretty bad. Has there been any super standout that for you on offense or defense that has really taken over the preseason or the games that you've watched?
Yeah. So on the offensive side, Des Fitzpatrick, the practice squad receiver. I thought he had a great training camp. Now he did start slow. He was inconsistent. I will say that, but he knows how to get to his routes like very well, like in game. Like that one throw, I think, against the Texans and another throw against the Lions. And I thought I think he can make the 53-man roster over Scotty and Quez Watkins, but we'll wait and see if they keep 5 receivers or 6. But I thought Des Fitzpatrick did very well. And on defensive side, I mean, DeMarvin Leal and Mark Robinson, those guys were basically on the – and Isaiah Loudermilk. I thought all 3 of those guys in the 2021 and the 2022 NFL draft, they couldn't find their footing. They were struggling a bit, but they were basically on the chopping block of beating cut. But seeing them at training camp, seeing them in preseason, especially for Leal, I give that man a lot of credit. Like, he slimmed down a bit. They moved him inside. They moved him on the outside. And he played very well, including Mark Robinson. He's been playing very well, stepping in that role when Cole Holcomb is injured. He'll probably miss likely 8 games of the season, maybe, with his injury. And DeMarvin Leal, he just made him case of himself making the 53-man roster. So I would say all 3 of those guys play very well overall this training camp and preseason.
Did you go to training camp this year? Are you close to going there?
So I live in Littrell, PA.
Oh, really?
I'm close to St. Vincent, so I went there 8 times. I know that sounds great. I went 8 times.
Hold up, wait a minute. Insider source. I'm going to use you next time to be on the ground.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I went there 8 times this year. I also went to Friday Night Lights, best thing ever. I thought overall the team did play very well. Now it's training camp. Everyone's going to look well, even without pads or with pads. They're going to look well. I saw some ups and downs most of the time from certain players and on defense and offense, but overall, I thought they did very well. And
okay, next year, Brendon, if I'm not there, I'm giving you a microphone. I'm going to buy you one somehow, some way. We're going to have boots on the ground. We're doing a live stream from you at the field. I didn't know you were there.
I mean, I can try, but I'm not very good at that stuff. But I can give it a try.
You're doing very well right now. Don't worry about that. I'm serious. I can't get over there. I'm stuck here in fucking Australia. I I'll put you on my shoes for a minute. Think how much you love football, and then move to another country that you can't watch it. That's what it's like to be me sometimes.
Trust me. If I lived in a different country and if I love Pittsburgh, I would be like, dang, I wish I'm still in the PA. I wish I was. Yeah,
you'd be the exact same way as me. You'd be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You'd be going nuts. I know, because you know why I know? Because every time you comment, and by the way, you've been on the show before, and I got some videos to bring up in a minute. But every time you comment, it's always positive. It's always, here we go. It's let's effing go Steelers. And the fact that you've been to training camp is freaking awesome. I think that's great. J-Devil says, Steelers Nation Australia correspondence. Yeah, dude, we'll figure it out next year if I can't go. Because if I'm going to Christmas, I probably can't go to training camp. Then maybe the year after. But we'll get you a spot on the hill. We'll get you talking to Max Starks. We'll do that kind of stuff. That'd be awesome. And thank you, Gene, as well, for the 10 gifted memberships as well. All right, let's go. What about so you went there 8 times. I want to focus more on training camp for a little bit, and we're going to talk about cut down players. who is someone that you think will surprise us this year? I think on offense or defense, who's really like, oh my god, like you said, Des Fitzpatrick was kind of. I think he makes it too. By the way, I think he makes the fifth receiver 5. Now Scotty Miller could also make it, but they could carry 6. I still don't know what they're going to do with the fullback situation. If they have a fullback or don't. But who's a player that's going to surprise us that will make the team in 2024? Like you can even say TJ Watt if you want to.
So I will start on the defensive side. Nick Herbig. I thought he's gonna have a breakout year, hopefully, but the way he moves, he's sort of like a TJ Watt 2.0. Like he can get to the quarterback like anytime. It doesn't even matter if they move him outside or inside or of the field to cover. If your quarterback is not being protected, that man's going to go straight through your offensive line to sack you. And plus, this man was getting trained by James Harrison, Debo, at one of the training camp. I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Debo is teaching these outside linebackers what to do. And so I'm very excited for Nick Herbig. And
did you see his jump spin move, the tackle he did, the swim?
I mean, it worked for Debo for so many years. He was the sack leader of all time for the Steelers and a defensive player of the year and a Super Bowl, one of the best Super Bowls plays ever. No question.
I think it's the best. I still think it's the best. I think the fact that Debo stepped back, and I don't know if you saw the video, but when I retweeted Kurt Warner, and by the way, he had a great response. He tweeted back to me, and it was really nice. But that's, to me, is one of the best plays or the best play, because he was meant to rush. He stepped back, caught the ball, big fella, ran 99 yards down the sideline. It's a great play. Like, it's one of the best ones ever.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. Like, he needed oxygen after that play. Like, I've seen, like, different types of, like, videos of him getting oxygen into his, like, nose and mouth. I'm like, that is a Pittsburgh Steeler. That is a definition of a player being a Pittsburgh Steeler. And then for the offensive side, I know he's going to make the roster. Justin Fields. When Russell Wilson went down with a calf injury, he was out for 2 weeks. We saw him practicing, but limited. Justin Fields took the reps that he can. And then he played well. All of his teammates has been talking good about him lately. And the way he moves outside the pocket on Arthur Smith's system, it just makes you have a great feeling about Justin Fields in the near future if we re-sign him to a new contract after the 2024 season. Because I think that's the quarterback that Arthur Smith wants. He wants a mobile quarterback that can get outside the pocket and just throw the football to their receivers. And that's what I like to see more this year with Russell Wilson or Justin Fields at the quarterback position. So, and I met Justin Fields like a couple times. Nice man, very friendly. Heck, I even saw Justin Fields getting pizza the one time on the last day of training camp. I was at a restaurant. I opened the door. I saw his face, and my heart just dropped when I saw Justin Fields. I mean,
you say hello to him, you say, how's it going? You say, hello, mate.
I didn't want to disturb the man. I didn't want to disturb him. He looked like he was in rush, getting the pizza and leaving Pittsburgh from St. Vincent because it was the last day of training camp. But those are my two players. Justin Fields and Nick Herbig are my two big surprise that's going to hopefully shock us in the near future for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Be a good shock. I like the fact that when Justin Fields was on there, he was running a bit of wildcat too, or the QB runs. So the design runs to the left-hand side. That was at the goal line one time. He pulled the ball back and ran to the left. Now, it didn't work, but you're going to see it again. Like, definitely going to see it again. So I think Fields will be somehow, some way on the actual field, no pun intended. I'm going to transition, though, a little bit to this point, because I think I'm with you. I think it's QB1. You think QB1's Wilson?
Oh,
you don't know.
Listen, listen. Okay,
Hang on.
I saw a report saying Mike Tomlin does not know. He is lying. He knows who the starting quarterback's going to be. He just
knew
won't
2
say.
months ago.
However, I would not be shocked if it's Justin Fields. Just let me talk about this.
All right, okay.
Yes, it should be Russell Wilson because you're giving a veteran quarterback some playing time, see if he still has left in the tank. And you're also giving Justin Fields, like, being this backup and, like, he can learn from Russell Wilson, see what he needs to be fixed on, what he sees on the field that he needs to work on to be a better quarterback to the Pittsburgh Steelers or any other teams that wants him. But the reason why I want Justin Fields to be QB1, I'm not guaranteed on age. Yes, Russell Wilson's 35. Yes, Justin Fields is 25. But I feel like Justin Fields has more arm power and more mobilities to be a better system for Arthur Smith than it does with Russell Wilson. Because I've seen it at training camp, I've seen it at preseason. And by the way, for the people, including the ESPN reporters that said the first game, Justin Fields didn't do anything. It was the offensive line, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
The snaps were so bad, they can't protect him, but that's for another topic. But I think Justin Fields can take this team. I'm not saying Russell Wilson can't take this team to at least a playoff win. I can see Justin Fields giving us a little bit more of a chance than with Russell Wilson. But if it's Russell Wilson going into the season, I don't have a problem with that at all. I just think Justin Fields is QB1.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I reckon, and I think what is going to happen is Mike Tomlin's going to choose, or the offensive coordinator Smith is going to choose Wilson. I think that's just the way it's going to pan out. I think the moment he signed, I'm going to do a bit of a flashback because we have some of your comments here from last time talking about Russell Wilson, and I think I've got it to the right point, and I'm going to see what you said last time about, because I think, but you probably keep your same, because I thought you want to go back to Wilson being quarterback number one. So I'm going to bring it up here. We'll do a bit of a flashback. There's us. I've got a haircut. You've got a haircut. That was only 5 months ago. Why do we look so much younger?
I don't know,
All
man.
right. This is from, and I'll play it for a few minutes. And then, let me run this for a few minutes, and we're going to comment about what we said 5 months ago. All right. Russell, no, actually, no, not yet. Justin Fields. What about you?
I mean, Justin Fields is a good athlete. When he was in Ohio, he did very well there. I think the only problem with Justin Fields, he turns the ball over like way too much. I'm not saying he gets like a lot of interceptions. I'm saying like it can be interceptions, fumbles like that. But it's not all of his fault. It's basically like Chicago's fault. Like basically how Kenny and the Steelers are right now. Justin Fields was in like a more difficult stance because I think Chicago went through like 3 offensive coordinators in his 3 years. He had no O-line. He only had like maybe 1 or 2 weapons in his 3 years. So, I mean, Justin Fields, I mean, I'm not giving up like a lot of draft picks for him of what the Bears want from him, like a first or maybe like a second.
I've heard second and thirds. I don't think you give him anything. I think if you got a quarterback problem, which is Kenny Pickett right now, you figure that out, you don't get another one. You don't bring in 2 quarterback number problems, right? That's just the way I see it. I think the Fields talk is absolute nonsense. But the other quarterback talk that isn't nonsense is Russell Wilson, that it kind of turned in from a rumor about 4 weeks ago to yesterday or the day before that he was in the Steelers, building, having coffees and having meetings with Arthur Smith and the crew. What are your thoughts about the Russell Wilson situation? And do you feel there's any truth to him actually signing? Now, he was in the building though, but do you think there's any truth to a signing?
In my opinion, I hope he doesn't sign with us. I'm not being mean to the man. Russell Wilson's been in the league for a while and he has been playing very good football lately, but I think it's not worth of what he wants. Now, granted, he will be cheap this year, maybe 1 year for like $2 million. But you also have to remember Denver gave him $85 million when he was released from Denver, and they're still paying him $50 million this year. So if you do
All right,
sign
I'm
Russell
gonna
Wilson
cut us
to the
off there.
Steelers,
I saw that yesterday, right? And I was watching them back our previous podcast. And you know what? You're a man to your word, because you were saying, not that you don't like. I know you don't like. I know that. Hey, let me remember this. I know you don't hate him or anything like that at all. But I think you're saying Fields is a better quarterback if it were to happen. You know. But in my sense, I think a lot of fans now, I think it's going to be Wilson because Tomlin was going to do that. But I was watching that podcast back, and it was interesting to find out. We filmed the day before Wilson signed. And then I went to the comments the next day, and you went, no, or something like that. You know, so I thought that was kind of funny to bring up the flashback. That was like five months ago. But no, I hear what you're saying. It's because you know what? I think a good scenario would be if Russell Wilson has a good year, then maybe Fields comes in, and then they sign him a contract, and he's like our franchise guy. He's 25, 26. Let's hope, you know, I know you're the same. You want both quarterbacks to succeed. We want quarterbacks to go out and win games, score points. I'm at the point where I might just play the game and let's go. Like I think the Kenny Pickett stuff is now done. It's over. Goodbye. Got these two blokes on a 1-year deal. I see what you're saying with Fields and how he's got a stronger arm, and you're the Steel Nation Australia correspondent out there 8 times, by the way, in training camp. You could almost put pads on. That's how much you were there. So I appreciate that that perspective. What about a negative? What about a certain negative you found from Campbell or some of the players that you saw while you were there?
Let's talk about Broderick Jones, everyone. Now, this man, yes, he did not play well against the Bills. We get it. It's on him. He knows that. But he's not playing left tackle. He is playing right tackle. And I don't care how many times news reporters said, oh, playing in a different position is not an excuse to play well. It kind of is. When you're seeing Dan Moore playing left tackle, and you're seeing Broderick Jones at right tackle, you drafted Troy Fautanu to be your right tackle and to move Broderick Jones at left tackle. What makes me upset is that our O-line coach, Pat Myers, and Mike Tomlin knows that he needs to be a left tackle. Even Omar Khan, our GM, which, by the way, he is doing a great job the past 2 years. Like this man, we got Patrick Queen for cheap, $48 million. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. I mean, Ravens, I'm sorry, but you got Derrick Henry. We need to take Patrick Queen away from you. But the point is, Omar Khan said that eventually Broderick Jones will be put back at left tackle. He was drafted to be left tackle. Now, this is a different scenario right now because Fautanu is injured with a knee injury. We don't know if he's going to be ready week 1. If he's not, we're going to see Broderick Jones at right tackle and Dan Moore at left tackle. Which I'm not too mad. I'm not really surprised. It just makes me upset that they're failing Broderick Jones' development, in my opinion. So once Fautanu is healthy, you need to put him at right tackle, and you need to put Broderick Jones at left tackle for the starting position. And then once that is figured out, you got your 2 future franchise tackle right there.
All right. So Gene says here, wait until the regular season. Would we? I think there's. You can take some points out of preseason. I know he's been struggling at right tackle and not playing the best, but I think he can bounce back. But yeah, what do you think about that? Mm-hmm. Just wait. What if he comes out and the starting lineup is Broderick Jones left tackle, Troy Fautanu right tackle? We all good on that front? Because I think it says it's still a big difference between preseason and regular season. You know that, of course. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue where, and you know, I think I've even heard some reports that they might be trading Dan Moore, but that's like people saying they should trade Dan Moore away because you'd have someone behind him. I like Dan Moore. I think he plays all right. Doesn't play the craziest out there, but he's consistent sometimes. Offensive line does need work in certain parts, but it always needs work every year. You got to gel together. I'm not too worried about whatever side he plays, but I understand what you're saying. You got to play your natural position. because even in the black and gold room, we were talking before, we are talking about Kevin Dotson and how they didn't play him in the right position. You said that he was playing right guard when he should have been playing left. He goes to the Rams, has a better season. So that's a good. I did ask you for a negative side, a negative opinion. It was a good side. Good opinion on that one there. I want to go into some of the players though, dude, that we have cut, and we're going to talk about some surprise players. So I do have the 16 players here. Running back Dejan Edwards, Tyreek Black, Copeland, Luther, Beach, O'Lion, Hamilton, Hardy, Spencer, DL, Tizino, Arnold, Averett, Kalen Barnes, Kyler McMichael, Nathan Meadors, Keandre Thomas, and Matthew Wright. Now, a big shout out to these guys. I do hope if you're a football player, I think I calculated yesterday over 1,200 players get cut in 48 hours. So, you're doing much bigger things than I am in the athletic space. I hope you find another team or what it may be. But to be very honest, from the fantasy football side and NFL fan side, I only really know who Edwards was and Matthew Wright. Who was your biggest upset for the cutting of these players, Brendon?
I have to say Deshaun Edwards. This guy was one of the best running backs out of Georgia. Now I know the running back class wasn't great this year in 2024, but he played very well in Georgia, and a lot of people had some high hopes that he could be the number 3 running back behind Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, or the number 4 if they kept 4 running back on their 53-man roster behind Cordell Patterson. I thought he had a great training camp. I thought he had a solid preseason this year, but it was kind of shocking when I saw him. Maybe they're looking at Michael P. Ryan right now and saying, maybe this could be the guy that could be the number 3 or the number 4, better than Deshaun Edwards. But I can see Edwards coming back on the practice squad if any of our running backs gets hurt this year. And he probably will come back next year on the training camp roster, hopefully.
Do you reckon the Steelers taken 4 running backs? I did say the other day that Patterson, I thought he might have been cut because he looked slow, and then he makes a massive play and a huge run, and it reminds you of the speed that he has and how physical he is too. So I think he's going to make the team at running back number 3 now. I trace my words back, but do you think there's going to be a running? And I don't know if we agree on that, but do you think there's going to be a running back number 4?
There's a possibility they could keep number 4. I don't know why I'm speaking today. I can see them keeping. Maybe they could keep 4 running backs, but I think they're going to keep 3 and maybe a fullback. Now, who's the fullback's going to be? I don't know who that's going to be, because it's either going to be Connor Hayward or I forget the other guy's name.
Jack Coletto.
Yeah, Jack Coletto, the undrafted rookie, to be the fullback. But there's a possibility they can keep 4 running backs, but we'll see by tomorrow at 4 o'clock, see what the initial roster is.
Yeah, I think, is it tomorrow or the next day? It's Tuesday, 4 p.m. is when the cuts have to happen, right? Tuesday, 4 p.m. That's done. So they've now cut, I think, 16 players, and I did some Google math. We have 75 players left on the roster. To 22 more cuts need to happen by this time, or tomorrow, 4 p.m. And then the Steelers can start to add to the practice squad 16 players. And of course, there might be some guys who they keep and go into the injured reserve. There's going to be a lot of transactions to players moving around. I don't know if you know, but will Cole Holcomb, will he count as the 53 if he's on the injured reserve or whatever he does?
No. So if a player is hurt and if they're not ready to play week 1, they will be on IR. But then they have until maybe week 8, maybe week 9 of the season to get them back on the day 21 list to see how they will do. The last time I heard about Cole Holcomb, he did get surgery on his knee on one report, but other than that, I've not heard any news at all. I did not see him at training camp at all. I thought I would at least see him at training camp, walking around, seeing how he feels, but I can see him starting the season on IR if we don't hear any more news about Holcomb.
Yeah, I think that's why you even said before was Mike Robinson was showing out too. He might be the 4th middle linebacker, plus Tyler Matakevich will be in there too, I think, with teams. What were your thoughts too on Peyton Wilson? Do you see him running around town?
Dude, that man is everywhere on the field. I don't know how he does it with no ACL on his one knee at all. Now, I'm happy he is okay. That was a little scary in that Buffalo game when he went down. I thought it was an ankle injury, but no, they said it was I think they're evaluating for a concussion. They did say he was supposed to come back against the Lions, but I think Mike Tomlin and the Steelers facility staff members wanted to be safe and not get him hurt. They wanted to be ready for week 1. But when I see him on that field, if you're passing the ball, he is there. If you're running the ball, he is there. He's like Troy Polamalu, but in a different position. I'm not comparing him as Troy Polamalu because nobody can be Troy Polamalu.
No.
But the way, if he'll probably be on one side, and if you're passing or running the ball on the other side, he's going to come in there and try to make a play. That's how good this man is. So I'm very excited to see him play. I'm hoping he plays all of this year, not without getting hurt, knock on wood.
Yeah, I reckon he'll be in there, the rotation somehow. I think Queen's in there. I think Roberts in there because he's a really physical player. And I still remember some Steelers fans from last year or the year before were saying, "Oh, we got Roberts. Who's that?" And this bloke just goes out there and gets 110 tackles or whatever it may be. And, you know, he's won some Super Bowls. And I don't know if you saw the interview with Cameron Hayward with Queen. Did you see that interview? Cameron Hayward, Queen and Robertson together?
I did see that. That was very interesting.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, dude. All I have to say, I can't wait to see those two on the field. If you're running the ball, it's smash mouth football right there. Those two.
It was pretty good, wasn't it? I watched the interview and I was getting the vibes of this team. I really think if they had like a strong offense and scoring some points and limit and not turn the ball over, being not safe, but being a little bit conservative and just running the ball well enough to get some points at least, and then this defense can lock them down. It really felt like it was a top 10-5 defense. The way that Queen and Atlanta Roberts was talking to each other, and they're really in sync and had respect for one another. And like Queen's now moved from the Ravens, so he can't stand them. He's been fighting with the Ravens players or some of the players and fans off season. And Roberts now like, okay, we're in our later years. We need to go and get the job done for a Super Bowl to cement our legacy, and for Queen to start to build his new team. If Queen plays well, and I hope he does, I think he will for the Steelers, we will quickly forget that he was ever a Raven. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we'll forget that.
Yeah.
And their chemistry together, and the realization of the Herbig on the outside, Highsmith who was struggling with a groin, but I think he'll be fine going into the season, hopefully. TJ Watt going into his years where he wants to go and get a Super Bowl. This defense is starting to get stacked with players. You even talked about DeMarvin Leal was going out of camp, looking fitter, stronger, new pass rush moves, and we all know about pass rush win rate. You need that to win the Defensive Player of the Year champion, right? So a lot of things moving. Keanu Benton, I don't know about him. Did you see him in camp too? Because he's looking fantastic out there. He's linking up with Herbig and making moves. I even saw some good moves from Montravius Adams. So when I saw the interview with Queen and Atlanta Roberts, I was like, those fellas are gonna have a big season. And then you sprinkle in a bit of Peyton Wilson, who, like you just said, he's like a Troy, not a Troy, but he runs from side to side. He's chasing down the football. He's all over the shop. You know, he's definitely one to watch. What about some other players that? Let's turn the table a bit. Let's go to tomorrow's cut down day. Who is one player that you'll be annoyed if they don't keep, if they cut them?
Oh, that's a tough one. One player that I'll be annoyed if they don't keep.
Like Edwards annoyed you, but maybe they should keep them, and you're just like, oh, why? You know.
If I had to choose one, I would probably say Des Fitzpatrick, in my opinion, because yes, you have Scotty Miller, He won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's familiar with Arthur Smith's system. Yes, you have a Quez Watkins who has deep threats ability with Philadelphia over a couple years with them. But I think Des Fitzpatrick shows that he can be inconsistent at training camp, but he shows you the abilities that, hey, you can trust me on these one-on-one balls, or I can make a route and I can get the ball. And also, he can be a very good special team guy. Like, I can't remember the word that they need to have when Miles Boykins got cut, was released last year by the team. He can fill in that role that Mike Boykins did last year on special team.
The gunner.
The gunner, yes. So
yeah. We had 2 good gunners last year. I talk about a lot. I love teams. Teams are great. James Pierre, people picked on him a bit, but the way they went down the field, that's super fast, super quick, man. And now they're playing for 2 different teams. And I was watching the cut down day to day. Boykin wasn't cut today, so maybe Dez is going to fill that role of Miles Boykin.
Now, here's the thing: if Dez Fitzpatrick does get cut, if I see 4 receivers on that initial 53-man roster, don't be surprised if they re-sign Miles Boykins just to be the gunner on special teams, because they love that man. He may not have a lot of receptions, but he makes some really good plays.
He hasn't been cut yet, though. I don't think, because he plays for the New York Giants, so he hasn't been cut just yet. If he's going to be a cut at all, because they might like him too. That's the only thing I think from that perspective. But there's also another Steeler that made a game with the Washington Commanders. Martavius Bryant's back. Is that someone, if they were to cut him, do you bring him back to the team, or is that ship sailed?
I mean, I would not be too mad if we bring back Martavius Bryant, but he's getting. The thing is, will he be well? Will he do well like he did back in the day, like in 2014, 2015, 2017 with the team, on his speed and his agility to catch the ball and make some plays? But if that happens, I would not be too upset bringing him back to the roster. So we'll see.
It'd just be, I guess, interesting, because if you bring back Martavius Bryant, and it's a long shot if that ever happens, I'm not too sure. I would prefer him come back than Brendon Ayuk, tell you that much. But then in saying that, then who's going to be your gunner? Because would you keep 6 receivers, you know? I got a question here, though, from Matty Peverill from Steelers Touch Down Under. He says, question for Brendon: who is your dark horse candidate to have a breakout year? Can be any years of experience.
I'll say Calvin Austin. I think Calvin Austin is going to be the dark horse to have a breakout year. Now, I think right now, with the receivers we have, I think he's the number 3. I think he's your slot guy. He can play outside. He's your speedy receiver. I can see him going for 400 or 500 yards this year if he doesn't get hurt. Knock on wood. I'm hoping he stays healthy, but he shows you what he can do. He can get down to the field. He can get wide open. Doesn't matter how big or small you are. As long as you're fast, as long as you get separation from your guys that you're being covered by, you can make big plays. Just look at week 3 last year against the Raiders. He was in the slot. He was in the inside. He ran up the middle and beat 2 guys. Kenny Pickett threw the ball. He ran it for a touchdown. Yeah, and after that, Matt Canada just like, well, he's done. He's done for today. But
Matt Canada didn't know how to use him from the start anyway. He was on record saying he didn't know how to use him.
Exactly. That's my point. So I'm hoping Arthur Smith has a couple plays where Wilson or Fields throw the ball to Calvin Austin.
I reckon you're going to see him on different end arounds, you know, different things. I think you're going to see Russell Wilson put Calvin Austin in motion, but motion for good use, where he does move to one side and comes back, and then maybe he follows the lead block like he did with Joe and Warren versus I think it was him. Yeah, it was him versus the Bengals, and Warren smacked the Bengal out of the way. And I think you're going to see more of that, but like not as predictable as Matt Canada, run, jet pass, or jet sweep, whatever it was. I do want to bring something up though. Oh, I know. Sorry to bring it up. I want to bring up this too. So Rob Lightfoot says, one international player will not be counted against the 53. That's correct. That's Julius Walshkoff won't be to it. He does say, though, nor the third quarterback. I think that's false. Not picking on your Robert Lightfoot. I'm pretty sure the third emergency quarterback is still part of the 53. It's still part of the 53. So just because you have a third quarterback, it's not like a free spot. You can name Cole Allen, and we can probably talk about this now too. You name Cole Allen or John Reese Plumlee, the third quarterback, but he's still part of your 53. He's not just an extra guy. That would be totally would be crazy to see if we had a free spot for a quarterback, because then it'd be a whole different kind of like world we live in. Thank you as well for Gene says, well, $1.99. Maddie, you better come to the tailgate. Maddie Peverill is going over there to the Steelers game versus the Chargers, and make sure you try and reach out to him as best you can on his community posts or YouTube and try and meet up with him at the game or whatever it may be. That'd be freaking cool. So he's going for the Charger game. But yes, in that scenario, the third quarterback is still part of the roster. Here it is, though. I've got Kyle Allen making the team because I think he's an experienced quarterback. However, do the Steelers do something crazy? Do they bring in John Reese Plumlee to play quarterback 3, the same time, receiver, halfback, and kickoff return? Does that happen?
There's a good chance he has not been cut yet. Now, I know that he was drafted to the UFL a couple months ago.
Was. Yes, yep.
But I think he made a choice just to stay with the Steelers, be like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see if I make the roster. Let's see if I make the practice squad. If not, I'll go to that team. But there is a good chance that he could stay to be the third string quarterback and also be like you said, halfback, kick returner, slot receiver.
If he's a third quarterback, then who's going to be the game day emergency one? Do you have to label one? Maybe in the rules, I don't know. Does every team need to label an emergency quarterback, or can you just be the third quarterback and play? Because if you're the third quarterback and you can't play unless someone gets injured or two players get injured, then you can't play kickoff return. So does he play kickoff return and receiver and quarterback as well? I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
I'm gonna be straight up to you. I have no idea. There is so many rules in the NFL that does not make sense no more. Like, I read something about the emergency quarterback. I forget what it said, but I read the whole thing. It didn't make sense to me, like, at all. And with these new rules, the kickoff rule and the no hip tackle rule, which, by the way, that is a normal tackle. That is not a new tackle. That is a normal tackle if you see from some of the plays. But I don't know. That is a good question. I don't really know what they're going to do with that, to be truthful. But
I think with the NFL, I think there might be a case where, and you guys in the chat let me know, I think it's that you don't have to label or announce you have an emergency quarterback. You don't have to do that. If that case you don't label one, then you would have John Reese Plumlee would be your third quarterback, and also he'd be playing receiver, kickoff return, and then if something happens to Russell Wilson or Fields, then you go back to him being third QB. However, if you label a third quarterback as your emergency one, being Cole Allen, which he will be, like Rudolph was last year, he cannot play unless unless things happen to the other two quarterbacks, right? So yeah, it's a bit tricky. So we'll move on. That's probably too hard for our off-season brains to figure out, and hopefully we'll find out shortly what happens in tomorrow or the next day with the cuts happen. Another one was Julius Welshkoff had a good chance to make the 53 or practice squad if he doesn't count against the roster. What are your thoughts about him? He was playing, I think, some outside linebacker or defensive end. Might have been. I think it was outside linebacker.
He plays edge like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig. The thing is, I thought he can make the 53-man roster. There's a good chance that he can make the 53-man roster because he got 3 sacks in the preseason game. That's impressive of a guy who is a third, fourth string outside linebacker on the depth chart, and you made 3 sacks in the preseason. There is a good chance that Welshoff can make the 53-man roster. The only problem is with that one, there's 2 other guys on the depth chart right now that's not been cut. Let me see here. So right now, there's two guys he has to beat to make the 53-man roster. It's Jeremiah Moon and Kyron Johnson.
He's been playing well too. I've been
Him-
reading things
those
about him, and I've
two-
been watching him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to be a tough choice because TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig, those are your three. If you want to keep a fourth outside linebacker, those are your three that you have to make a choice. I know Jeremiah Moon got a sack in the first game against the Texans. I know Wellshaw got 3. Keon Johnson. Yeah, Keon Johnson. I think he can get to the quarterback as well. I think he got 2 sacks in that first game too against the Texans. So it's gonna be interesting to see who they keep and who they not keep. So
The thing is, though, there's one positive for the Steelers is that Walshkoff is an international player from Germany, so he's allowed to be on the practice squad as a free spot. So the Steelers might do that. They might stow him away there. And I don't know if other players, maybe other teams can reach out to him. Rules again, right? Maybe other teams can reach out to him. But in that sense, if he's a good player, you want him on the team. So that's going to be one spot to watch as well. Is number 4? We know number 3. Number 3 outside linebacker is Nick Herbig. He counts part of the. See, that's where it gets confusing. He counts part as a 53. I thought the Walshkoff was an international player, was only counted part of the practice squad. I know I'm a bit confused. Anyways, that might be a different comment for a different person. Anyway, I want to go back to another part. So I think the outside linebacker at number 4, I think is up in the air. Could be anyone. It feels like that receiver is up in the air. That could be number 5. Could be anyone. What about your thoughts on the players getting cut in terms of cornerbacks and then the nickel cornerback with Beanie Bishop and those guys? What about that?
So it did show that Graylin Arnold got cut, right? Because it says on their depth chart he is still on the team. But if it's NFL.com, then right now Beanie Bishop is the only nickel corner other than Cam Sutton. But Cam Sutton, okay, yeah, so he did get cut. Okay. So right now, Beanie is the only nickel corner because Cam Sutton is suspended for 8 games. So he won't be back until maybe the Commanders, I would say, or maybe the bye week. But I think Beanie's ready, but he shows some inconsistency. I'm excited for him, but I feel like he can be ready to go, but at the same time, he's not, if you know what I mean. So I think he's ready week 1.
Well, he's undrafted guy. He's a rookie guy, right? So it's not going to be standout straight away. In preseason, sure. In UFL games, sure. In the NFL, we all know as we watch the game, it's a lot faster. It's a faster game.
Now, I see in one of the comments, I don't know who he said that Patrick Peterson can make the 53-man roster if they sign him. I don't know who said that, but I can see that.
Rob.
Yeah, so Rob, I agree with you. I can see Patrick Peterson can be on the 53-man roster if they don't think Beanie is ready just yet, and I can see him playing the slot until Beanie Bishop is ready, because I don't feel like Cam Sutton is going to play nickel this year. I think he's going to be the backup safety I've been seeing a lot, or he can be the backup outside corner, because I believe they're going to keep like 5 outside corner, like 2 starters and maybe 3 and 1 backup outside guy for the cornerback position, and have 2 nickel guys. So we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see by tomorrow, see what they make their final.
Do you reckon that Pat P is a kind of bloke that the organization rings up tomorrow or the next day and he's ready to go? Like, he can play that. Obviously, I don't think he'd be playing on the outside. Maybe he will play in the slot position where he's been playing the league 15 years. I think it would be a good addition, but I wouldn't rely on him overly to make the big plays. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen either. I think he's a man, a bloke that they might kick the tires on again, but I'm not too worried if they go with a young guy in Beanie Bishop. And there's a reason why he wasn't part of the 16 players here. So they cut a lot of DBs as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They cut 6 DBs already. And Beanie Bishop and the other bloke, was it Thomas? Thomas Graham was still there, so 30 and 37. On the roster right now, you got Deshaun Elliott. I think he makes it. Minka makes it, of course. Joey Porter makes it. Darius Rush might be on the edge. Kazi, I think he makes it. As like a backup safety. Corey Trice has the injury, but he makes it. Ryan Watt's still there. Jalen Elliott, 34. So they're cutting down their plays in terms of the cornerbacks, and they might cut a few, and then maybe they roll with Beanie Bishop being that number one guy on the roster. Any other like roster spots you think over tomorrow? We'll find out tomorrow exactly. But that concern you or going to surprise you in terms of what the Steelers might do and having a hard, choice to make? Like, do they keep a fullback, or how many tight ends do they have as well? You freezing? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. What was the question?
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you have any Oh, it's a bit laggy. I don't know if I'm still okay. Am I still here? I don't know if I'm here or not. Yeah. Yeah. What position do you think? Like for mine, it's the fullback. Like, will they keep a fullback, or how many tight ends will they roll with? Like, what will surprise you in that sense of guys on the fringe?
I would say the fullback position. Now, who is that going to be? I don't know. I know that Arthur Smith like his tight ends a lot. He used to be a tight end coach a long time ago. So I can see them keeping 4 tight ends this year. We already know who that's going to be. But the fullback position, I can see them keeping a fullback, but we just have to wait and see who that's going to be.
That's what I mean too. Like with the tight ends in my video yesterday, I had, of course, Pat Frymouth, Dana Washington. I put in Michael Pruitt and then Connor Haywood. But if they go with 4 tight ends, do you keep a fullback as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. But if not, you can add in like a backup offensive lineman or your 3rd or 4th string tight end to be your or maybe your backup tight end to be your fullback. But we'll wait and see by tomorrow by 4 o'clock, see what they make.
Maddie says here, bring back Switzer. Any chances? No.
I thought he retired. I thought he retired from the NFL.
I think he did. I think he did retire. I think he's retired. I think he's coaching football now too.
I don't think he's going to come back.
All right, let's do some questions for Brendon on the way out. Questions about his fandom, about his time in the. Is it Latrobe or Latrobe? Is it Latrobe? How do you say it?
A lot of people call it Latrobe. I call it Latrobe.
I heard it was Latrobe that you guys pronounce it that way.
I don't care how you pronounce it. It really doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Mm-hmm.
All right, so do a few questions for Brendon, and then we'll get out of here, guys. And of course, I think I'm going to be trying to. Yeah, I might do a live stream tomorrow at Cut Down Day at 4 p.m. It's my 6 a.m., but I'll wake up and do it. That's a great question. Now we'll turn into a pizza podcast. Gene Smith says, favorite pizza?
Pepperoni. That's it. Just pepperoni pizza.
I reckon that that's most of the guys and blokes answer that pepperoni. I think it's just a staple. What do you get? Like, do you get like a thick crust? Do you get like what kind of crust or cheese on top or whatever you do? What do you do?
Just plain like mozzarella cheese with pepperoni on it with like thick crust pizza. I can deep dish. I also like deep dish pizza. They're very good. So I just like pepperoni. If I had to pick a second option, I would say bacon. In my opinion, bacon pizza would be so good. So, but I'm a big pepperoni guy. Yeah,
me too. J-Double says stuffed crust, meat lovers, extra bacon. That's pretty solid. That's something. That's like stuffed crust, your cheese in the crust, cheese, barbecue sauce, meat lovers, extra bacon on top. J-Double has that after his workout for 3.5 hours, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get 2 pizzas. That's a question. Paranormal in the Funhouse. Funhouse says, question for what are the chances of us trading for signing? Oh, that's right. There was also links to. There was 2 receivers, Tim Patrick and the other guy, the other Texan. I don't know. I can't remember his name. Any chances we have those guys coming to the Steelers?
We'll see. I don't have high hopes we trade for a receiver. Now, I'm gonna say that right now. And like tomorrow morning, breaking news, Brendon Ayuk gets traded to the freaking Steelers. I'm gonna be like,
Well,
wow,
last
okay.
time we did a podcast and we both said, or you said that Wilson wasn't going to be here, and I was like, I don't know. And then the next day he signed. But Wilson was in the actual office.
Area, yeah.
He was in the office talking, and he talked to Omar Khan and Smitty for about 9 hours. So we probably should have, jumped on that. I think that was like the first big move of like, oh my goodness, Omar Khan means business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're just like, oh no, okay, you brought him in, you talked to him, it's not going to happen, and it did happen.
No.
I think that Tim Patrick played with Russell Wilson too, Broncos. Yeah, that could be an intriguing one to watch.
He did play with Russell Wilson when he came in 2022. However, he's been dealing with injuries. I checked his stats in the afternoon. He has like in 2020 and 2021, he had like a combined total of like 1,400 yards and like a combined 11 touchdowns, which is actually solid for a big receiver. But he has been dealing with some injuries in 2022 and 2023. But he does have some chemistry. Excuse me, voice crack. He does have some chemistry with Russell Wilson in those 2 years in Denver. But like I said, I would not be mad if we get him or that guy from the Texans. The one guy I would keep an eye out, Tank Dell from the Rams. He is on a smaller side. He does have the same weight as Deontay Johnson, but I thought he had a solid season last year. So keep an eye out for like a Tank Dell, maybe a Tyler Lockett, but we'll see. But if I had to guess 1 through 10, I would say a 4 for game one.
How do you say that word starting with O?
Oregano and chili flakes to pepper. I think it's oregano. I don't know.
You say it right. I always say oregano. So I don't know if Maddie said it too. Maddie, let me know if you say oregano. I say oregano. But I know it's called. I know it's pronounced oregano.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that either. Yeah, oregano or oregano. Chili flakes pretty good too. I like that. Wes says only way that fullback makes it is 100%. You got to play teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Pan crust. So this is where the chat goes wild. This is where the people stick around for the extra content. Is the pizza talk because me and Maddie used to do it all the time on Steelers Touch and Under, on Behind the Steel Curtain and SEN, and we do it on his channel and my channel. It's always about pizza because pizza's amazing. 2 pizzas minimum. Yeah, straight up. Does his 3-hour workout? He watches all the podcasts. Then he jumps into some pizza. 99 says, and shout out to 99. He says, "What do you think Russ's stat line looks like this season?" You go first, and I'll answer after you. What do you think?
Depends if he finishes the season. He's probably gonna start the season. It depends if he finishes the season. But I'm gonna think he's gonna start the rest of the year. If I had to go with that, I would say over 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11. Maybe 28. I could be wrong, but we'll say 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. We'll say that.
Yeah, it's a good call in saying that if he's going to finish the whole season, I think he'll miss like 2 or 3 games with the injury or tiredness or whatever it may be, sickness. He's going to miss some games at some point, and Fields will play starter somehow because it's very tough to go 17 games in a row. For my stat line, I'll go 3,000, same as you, 400. TDs 25, and maybe I think he'll throw more picks here and there, maybe like 15 or 14. Nothing super crazy, but I think he links up with Pickens and Austin, and we haven't yet to see Roman Wilson play. So that's going to be exciting to watch. I'll go 3, 4, 25, and 14. Another question here is from Gene Smith. Shout out to Gene. Best pickup the Steelers had this year. Ooh, that's a good one.
Patrick Queen. I'm sorry. Yeah. Patrick Queen was the best pickup in free agency by Omar Khan. 3 years, $48 million. This guy was predicted to get $80 million. We got him for 48. I mean, that's a work for Omar Khan right there.
A pissed off Queen as well. A pissed off Queen. I think he's now realizing what the difference is in terms of culture. I think what the Steelers are building with you join a team. If you're Queen and you're a good player, and you rock up and you've got Roberts next to you, and on
Mhm.
the outside you have TJ Watt, future Hall of Famer. In the middle of the line, you've got Ogunjobi's been playing a good camp. Cameron Hayward, the leader. Keanu Benton, the second year stud, is going to go off this year. He's doing swim moves and wrestling moves, and he's having fun out there. Your mind would go, I know I'm a good player. And here I am joining. I didn't even mention the safety, Minka, and also he played with Elliott, the other safety. So you got all your mates around you, and he's going to – I agree with you. I think he probably is the best pickup this year. Unless Russell Wilson goes off and has a fantastic 30 TD season, 4,000 yards, and he goes wild, he might be one too. Paranormal says, if BA gets traded, will you go live? If I'm awake, I will. If that's the hard part, is honest to goodness, most times that when me and Maddie do content, we sleep from your 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But definitely I'll be talking about it. I just don't think traded to anyone? Nah, not even because only to us. I don't really care. I might make a video saying about fucking time that he made a choice, but I'm pretty over it like that. Let's read some more questions. He's 23. I think he's got a chance because he can sack the quarterbacks in our roster, in our division. Got a chance. Different question. Will the NFL let him?
Yeah, he would have broke the record in 2021. I think that first one was a sack, but they said, "Oh no, man, he moved forward." I'm like, "That's still a sack."
The NFL came back and said the referees were like, "No, it was a sack." They came back and said he wasn't a runner, and in the time you watched it, he was like deemed a runner because he dropped the ball and then ran, but he was still a quarterback in the pocket.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Will the NFL let him? That's the big question: will the NFL let him?
Well, considering the fact they're screwing him over twice for Defensive Player of the Year last year, and what was it, 2020? He got screwed over. So I'm probably gonna say no. I want him to break the sack record, but I'm gonna say no because the NFL doesn't like TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, they don't. He's approaching as well. I think near 100 sacks. I'm pretty sure.
He's broken. I think he needs like 3.5.
Yeah, he's like 4 or 5 away. That's pretty wild, man. He's got 100. He's broken Debo's record. He's now the leader there. I hope we see him play fantastic for the next 4, 5, 6 years. Of course, you had JJ Watt in the building too. Was kind of crazy. I don't think that's going to happen to him coming back out. But if that did happen, that'd be nuts. All right, a few more questions. Rob Lightfoot says, "Do you have a favorite collegiate team?" I'm a South Carolina Gamecocks fan. What about yourself?
I'm not a big college football guy. I'll watch it in and there. If I have to say favorite team, I would have to say Wisconsin because of all the talent that came out of that college, like Russell Wilson, TJ Watt, JJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Keanu Benton, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, there were some good ones coming out of that team. So I'm not big college guys, but I would say Wisconsin would be one of them if I was.
Matty Pepperell says here, Tank Dell, isn't he on the Texans? Is that right? The bloke you said?
Oh, it's the Ram guy. I can't remember his name. Let me look that up.
You look it up.
Yeah.
So 99 says, I don't watch football, but Pitt is fine. I don't have a favorite team. I'm trying to watch more. I think it was college on the weekend. I've got to go back. Every game that I have on KO, I'm going to start to watch because I want to learn some of these players, who they are. G'day, Joey Weaver in the house too. What's going on? Rob Lightfoot says, AU could be traded tomorrow. Thank fuck. I can't wait till it's over. I really, really can't wait. It's Mark's way saying my wife says it's because she's Greek. It's oregano. There you go. Joey says, go into indie game. You're going to indie games. Well, you found it? Who was it?
It's not Tank Dell. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tutu Atwell. That is my mistake. Okay. I can see him getting traded, so he's not bad. He's not great. He's okay, but there's potential there, so I can see Tutu Atwell.
Then the fan base can yell out Tutu like that. We can start yelling out.
I can see it. I can see it.
All right, Joey says here, going to indie game. Are you going to any games, Brendon?
So I'm going to the Chargers one, home opener.
That's where Matt is going.
I'll see you, Matt. I'll probably see you at that game. I'm going to the Cleveland one at home. I'm trying to get the Baltimore Ravens one at home. The Cincinnati one at home, the last game, but we'll see. Depends what time they start. And maybe the Kansas City Chiefs game. We'll see about that one. But right now, so far it's just the Chargers and the Browns, and hopefully we get the Ravens one.
Do you have a certain record when you go? Do you count? Have you been to a few games?
Oh, let me check my phone. I actually do. I also count preseason too. I mean,
oh my god! You know what? You're like the super fan. You're like the super fan that you go into every friggin' meetup. You're almost part of the team. You're like the 92nd player on the roster.
So
all right, did you find that?
So right now,
yep.
Yeah. So right now I'm 12-5 when I go to those games.
In the regular season?
Combined regular season and preseason games.
That's not bad. It's a winning record, 12-5. You're going to the playoffs. Okay, that's pretty good. That's more memorable and enjoyable, isn't it? You got like more positive games than I guess than negative games. All right, 46 says, "G'day, Steel Chick 46 says, taco pizza or chicken bacon ranch pizza?"
Neither. I'm sorry. I'm not a big taco guy. I don't like ranch. If it's just chicken bacon pizza, I would go with that. But since you put ranch in there,
ranch dressing on top,
I don't like.
I'd go chicken bacon ranch. I like that. J-Devil says, don't let Marks make Cole catch you at Macca's. That's right. Holy dooly. Ayuk over under, as in like yards, or hurry up and fucking sign. That's what I'm saying. Hurry up and fucking sign is 0. Sign now, tomorrow.
So if it's a trade, under. If it's a sign, over. So there we go.
Get it done. Hurry up. It's one of the longest storylines in the NFL. I think it's just been absolutely boring to watch for this moment. G'day, Rudy. What's going on? He says, do you think that Benny Bishop makes a team? I think there's a big chance to be honest. I think that it'd be one of those things where I think if he's on the practice squad and someone picks him up, then Steel Nation will lose their minds when he plays well somewhere else. So maybe you got to keep him on the roster to have him there at the slot position, and you know, it's not too bad of an option keeping him. If he makes mistakes, you don't have to play him all the time in certain plays. I think he'll make the team. What about you?
Yeah, I think he can make the team. No question about it. He's going to make the 53-man roster. If I see that man being cut tomorrow, then I'm going to be like, what are you going to do at corner? That's nickel corner. That's the thing. Because you have Thompson right now on the outside corner on the left side.
And Sutton's out for 8 games. So he's out for 8 games, right?
Yeah, so we'll see.
Welcome back, Rod, too. I think his internet's fixed or his phone's fixed. He says Cordero Patterson could be huge. I was against him, like I said at the start of the podcast. Not like that I hate the guy, but I was like, he looked pretty slow out there the first 2 games. I'm like, what do we? And then Tomlin didn't use him for kickoff returns. I'm excited to see what he can do if he's going to be running back number 3 in terms of playing teams. You know what? They might not even feed him too much, but in Atlanta, he got a few carries here and there. He's been playing a long time. Are you excited for Patterson to see what he can do?
I just want to see that man run the ball from the one goal line to the other on that kick return one time. Just one time. And I'll be happy with that because he's very, very good at it. He didn't do it last year because he was injured a lot. But from when he was a rookie all the way to 2022, it's every single year he always have a kick return touchdown. Like, I was happy with the signing, but with his age, I was concerning. But I think it's going to be huge. I think
it does seem like when the holes open up as well. Zach Frazier and Isaac Siamalo made a massive block for each hole to open up. And when he ran straight, he just ran right through, cut to the right. He was fast, big bloke. That kind of bloke running at full speed is very hard to tackle. So, but other times you see him play, and it's like in our experience for preseason, it wasn't the funnest to watch. But I think he'll be fine. Hopefully, I'm coming back on what I said 2 days ago or 3 days ago. 99 says 5,000 yards. Thoughts? Let's go, 99. Let's do it. 18 sacks in defense, 8 interceptions. And we have Walter Payton. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, we got it. So that's that. That's, you know what? That deserves 99. I'm going to play your own music. That deserves it. 5,500 yards. 0. 18 sacks on defense. 8 interceptions, defensive MVP. You want them all. He's got them all. All right. That's hype. That is definitely hype. All right. Pittsburgh Toddy says he says here, do you miss Lenny or Kenny? Do you miss him?
All right, how many people in this chat's gonna hate me if I say the wrong answer?
There is no wrong
I'm
answer.
gonna be truthful to
It's
you.
your answer. It's your answer.
All right. All right. Yes, I do miss Kenny. I still miss him. I hope he's doing well in Philadelphia. I will still remember the Raiders game and the Ravens game last year of what he did, fourth quarter comebacks and everything like that. I wish they would have kept him and did with the Arthur Smith system use his legs more than what Matt Canada did, is make him stand in the pocket a lot like they wanted him to. He's not Big Ben. He's his own guy. So, yes, he didn't get a lot of touchdowns, but he didn't throw a lot of interceptions. But I wish they would have kept him with the Arthur Smith system, then give him like another year, say, okay, we're going to take a risk. And we're going to see what you can do. But, yeah, I still miss Kenny, and I hope he does well, and he at Philadelphia. So,
boo. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding, bro. Look, it doesn't matter. That's your opinion. Who cares? I don't miss the guy, but I wish him luck. I think Kenny got thrown in the bus. I think it was, looking at it, hopefully it's the right move to trade him, and Russell Wilson works out and Fields works out. We are the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. We're not the Kenny Pickett Steelers. But at the same time, you don't want to hate the bloke for going and being successful somewhere else. I'm not like that. You're not like that. You wish him well, and you have a good season or a good career. It's not over here for his career. People have some, hard times being a round one pick. He can still bounce back. He's like 26, 27. It's not over him. As long as he can play football, he'll figure it out. Maddie says we'll love to see him run back. That's the Patterson. So 99 yards or 80 yards to the house. The crowd would go crazy. Are you a fan of the kickoff rule?
In between right now. It'll grow to me once the season goes through and through. But right now, I'm in between. I like it, but the rules are still confusing to me. But we'll see. We'll see.
There are a lot. Yeah, I don't like it, but I'm with you too. If we run one back, I'll probably like it. Thank you, Gene, as well for that 5 gifted Steel Nation memberships. That's fantastic. Any more questions? Puka. Oh, that was in terms of the receiver you talked about. Any more questions at all? You guys are going crazy in the chat. I think we might be good. I think I'm catching up. Someone cancelled. I gotta go.
Probably me.
Oh, g'day, Fib. Nah, you're good, mate.
That's probably me. I got canceled.
If anyone, it's me. All right, I should have been cancelled long ago. G'day, Fib. What's going on? Fucking easy. Who would win the pickleball match? Mark and 46 or Wilson and Sierra? Us. Easy. Me and 46 would carve up Wilson and Sierra in a heartbeat. Bah! Like that. I got him. I'm hoping we can actually organize that somehow, some way. 2026 is my goal, to keep reaching out to him. I want to play either with Wilson or play against Kuntz, whoever. 46, I don't care. I've been playing. Thank you, Matty, mate. I've been playing 4 years now. I'm intermediate player. I'm a level 1 coach. Level 1 coach. So if you ever need some pickleball training, I can train you guys up. And I'm pretty tough too. I'm pretty like a very competitive coach. I want, as in sport, you should be. You don't play to lose, you play to win. Alrighty. Any more questions in the chat? And then I think we might start to round up. Anything else you want to bring up, Brendon, in the chat or for this conversation?
Whatever happens week 1, I just want to let everyone know. Do not overreact. If the offense does not do well, it'll be fine. Matt Canada is gone. We have a new OC. We got 2 new quarterbacks. We got brand new offensive linemen. Receivers are still a little bit questionable, but I still trust our receivers. Even if we don't trade or sign a receiver, I still trust our guys. Great tight ends, great running backs. Awesome defense. Whatever happens week 1, do not go on Twitter. Do not go on the comments if we lose on his review video on week 1. Do not say anything negative. Just say, calm down, relax, maybe drink a beer, maybe if you like beer. I don't. I'm not a big drinker, but do that. and just say, week 1, it'll be fine. Move on to week 2 against Denver. So do not overreact like other people did in the preseason. Yes, you can be mad, but don't overreact. Like, guys, my goodness, those people on Twitter are really, really bad. Really bad.
I agree. I think we all know they're going to overreact. The minute we're down 10 points or 7 points, they're going to overreact. It's just the nature of the beast. Pepper says they will burn it down, Brendon. Laugh out loud. These are lovely people. And Maddie says, I'm overreacting. You know, I'm just saying up front. Yeah, he's gonna say, "Oh no, we suck. We're terrible."
At least you're honest, Matt. At least you're honest. So, at least you're honest. I gave you respect for that.
And 99 says, "I'll be brutally honest but fair." The thing is the season. It's funny because it's not over. So if you start 0-1 and we're a terrible team, then yeah, the outlook does look bad. But I'm like you. It's just one game. You can figure it out. Mike Tomlin's teams always trying to figure it down the stretch. And I don't wait 8 months of the year or 7 months of the year to then go into week 1 and say, oh, that's it. Pack up your bags. I don't want to watch football anymore. There's no point watching. Why did you wait 7 months then? Why did you wait 7 months to watch football?
Yeah.
You know, Gene Smith says, give you a hell yeah. You speak 100% facts. I think in this day and age of overreacting or saying the world's over in terms of one game, it's not. That to me isn't really. It's fandom. You can be a fan however you want to, but it's not being like a supporter. You know, you can yell at the cloud and say we effing suck and Tomlin's not going to win or Russell Wilson won't get us this or blah blah blah. But what's the point? I just think I don't live in negativity like that. But you can be critical. You know. That's true. Maddie's like I'm saying because I don't want to fly across the world to watch him get beat again. I think Maddie's been to 2 games now or 1 game and he got beat in his game. So I'm 1-0, and I'm going back to Christmas Day. I saw the Steelers versus Ravens Christmas Day. Antonio Brown over the sideline. Eli Rogers. I want to try and get him on the show too. I've been trying to text him, but he's been busy. I want to get if I could get him on the show, it'd be fantastic. He made one of the greatest catches, by the way, in that game, Eli Rogers, and people forget about it. Over his head, caught it, bang down. We won on Christmas Day. I want that same feeling versus the Chiefs, and now Juju is a receiver again. I know you talked about it off air in the Black and Gold room that Juju played awful with the Patriots. Now he's back with the Chiefs. So I want that same experience, and I hope Maddie gets a win. And do you think we can win the first 2 or 3 games, go 3-0?
So we got the Falcons, then we got Denver, then we got the Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers gonna be a little difficult, just a bit, but I think we can win 3 games. Then we got I forget who else we got. Then we got the Colts and the Raiders and the Cowboys. And yeah.
I've still got it here. It's Falcons. Here it is. Falcons. Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts. So you think we can go 3-1, maybe 3-0 or something like that?
I would say the first 4 games. See, this one's tough. It depends on the Colts. I think we can win the first 3, but then you got the Colts, then you got the Cowboys, and you got the Raiders, the Jets, and the Giants. We're going to beat the Giants. If we don't beat the Giants, I will cry to sleep. And that's just straight up facts, people. But I think
who's their quarterback? It's Danny Dimes, right? Still, I think
he's not Danny Dimes. He is not. I'd rather see Drew Lock play for this team than Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, that's just straight facts. I'm sorry.
Going hard in the paint today, mate.
He's not terrible. He's just so inconsistent. He only got 1 good year. Got that massive contract. They didn't even re-sign Saquon Barkley. Look what happened. He went to Philadelphia. So thanks a lot, Giants. Now we have to face Saquon Barkley in Philly now. Thanks a lot.
What about I saw Danny Dimes ran like 75 yards and he tripped up with 5 yards to go. And I was like, man, you were so close to a TD.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was a quarterback and I was running and I would trip too. So I will give him that I would trip too. But
he made it so close though. It was so close to the end zone. You know what's funny too? I've been picking on recently Dan Orlovsky because he's been going after the Steelers, and I wrote a Twitter. Was it the other day? I'm trying to get him to respond because I got Kurt Warner to respond, and what I wrote the other day, I said he was talking about Hang on, I'll bring it up. I won't bring it up. I'll just see what it says. He was talking about there was a competition between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. In my opinion, I don't think there was, and maybe yours. There could have been. I said on the Twitter, I was like, there was never a competition. I saw a bigger competition a few years ago. Dan Orlovsky versus the end zone. The end zone won 2-0. But he didn't see it. I was hoping he'd see the tweet.
He probably will. He will.
You never know. It was kind of cool that Kurt Warner saw it, and he was a champion about that. I said it was going away. We're going to be out of here in 20 minutes ago. We're still here. Always happens. Hot take.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. It's true. I think Drew Lock is better than Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. They should have kept Tyrod Taylor, in my opinion. I thought, or Danny DeVito. That guy was.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
They should have kept him, but they should have.
They went with they got to play the Danny Dimes because of the money, right? You said he could sign a big contract, right? So
they should have gave the contract to Saquon. That's the problem.
True.
That's the problem.
Did you see the big contract that Dallas signed? CD, they definitely did. He signed like $100 million contract for something. Thoughts?
Cool. Jerry Jones did something. Now re-sign Dak and Micah Parson now. It'll probably take him another 5 months to do that. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
4-year deal, $34 million. Watsy. And Rob Lightfoot says here, front end 7-2, back end 5-3. 12-5. I'd be happy with 12-5. I really would be happy.
I say best 11-6, but I'm sticking with 10-7. I'm keeping it low, but I think they can win more than 10 games. I could be wrong, but yeah.
10-7 wild card.
Yeah, 6 or 7 seed. It'll be fine. Yep. Just win one playoff game, and I'll be happy. It's one.
Right.
Just one.
Let's get out of here. I really appreciate your time, Brendon. I really appreciate your words in the end. Do what's your thing. Don't overreact to the first loss if we do lose. Just calm down. Don't overreact. Thank you for your time, mate, and coming on the show. It's always fun when you jump on and say hello. So, Brendon, you've been awesome. Thank you to everyone as well. Pepper, 99, Gina, Robert, Rob. G'day, Maddie. Maddie's leaving next week to go to the States as well. Thank you, Daredevil. Thank you. I'll do about a few more. 46. Thank you to 86, to 99, who supports the music here as well. By the way, September, there's a premiere coming out that I hope every single person makes it. If you see one video all this year, you got to watch this one. September, I think 7th is September 7th at 8 p.m. on this channel. There's a countdown video, but more so listen because of 99's music. And here's the preview of what it sounds like. It's this. All right, that's it.
Oh,
it's gonna be cool, man.
I can't wait.
The video's done. The video's done as a premiere. It's my Sunday, your Saturday. It's the one day before the season. We're 13 days away. Or 12. Tomorrow's 12 days away, which is crazy. So cut down days, 12 days. The countdown I've been doing, and Brendon, you comment every single time. You're like one of the first ones. Is here we go, Steelers, which is nuts. And tomorrow there's no secret. It's Terry Bradshaw, number 12. So he's out there for sure. For my side, I'm kind of done. Like the same Ayuk's thing. I'm done writing the words. Like I'm over. I've done it 88 times of Go Steelers, and this many days away. I'm never doing it again. It was a good idea, but a really bad idea. It was probably worse than the wheel because it's just like consistent content all the time, and it just gets annoying. But we're almost there. We're 12 days away from that. So thank you, Brendon, mate, for coming on the show. And thank you to everyone who did this. Yes, I always wait for people to say that too. Thank you for Gene. Gene was the MVP today, had 5, 10, and a few dollars. And I don't know where you were yesterday. Maybe he's driving. Maybe he's out there driving in Philadelphia. Thank you, 99. And You can't see it here on the StreamYard. Browns suck, Ravens suck, who day, but they all suck. Do you hate the
Yeah, they
AFC
do.
North as much as me? Do you hate the AFC North?
Yes. Yes, I do. And sick and tiring seeing the Bengals and the Ravens, or maybe the Browns winning
There
the
we go.
division. I'm like, oh, man.
Next time they're on, I'm just gonna get you fired up. I love when you get fired up. It's great.
I will say this before we go. If one of those teams wins the Super Bowl this year, you won't hear from me for at least a week. And that is a promise.
And on the flip side, if the Bengals win, you will never hear them shut up. They'll never. If the Browns are worse, actually, the Browns would never shut up if they win. They will never ever shut up. They'll be the whole time. But in our case, they've never won one. Browns have won one in 1950. Bengals never won one in 57 years. We're fine. We're good. Alrighty. Thank you, Pepper Says. Thank you for hanging out with us in the university today. Brendon, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all. I can't say that. I don't say y'all. I don't know how to say y'all. All right.
Y'all.
I'm going to play y'all. I don't know how to say. I'm going to play the exit intro, whatever I have. And Ray Gun Dan. See you later. Bye.